The McRib is disgusting, but a lot of people love it. The most contentious McDonald's dish ever is this barbecue-flavored pork sandwich made of a reshaped boneless pork patty. And unlike the Mac Lobster or the Mac Hot Dog, the McRib is here to stay. Kind of. Every fall, McDonald's releases the mysterious McRib, a limited edition sandwich that is only available for a short period of time. People lose their minds and put their life on hold when they hear McRib is back. It's sometimes referred to as the McRib cult and has been regarded as a small but devoted, fervent fan group. Every time McDonald's re-releases this limited time sandwich, they shove it down your throat that this could be your last chance to try it. You never know when McRib will be released again, which is the worst thing about being in love with it. It's September, October, or even November at times, and December on rare occasions, but why? Given how profitable the McRib is for McDonald's, why doesn't the company announce the precise release date each year? Like every October 1st, they could bring it back for a whole month. It'd satisfy all the rib heads out there and line their pockets. Yet for some reason, they can't or won't do that, and that makes no sense to me. I then began to question myself, why did McDonald's come up with the McRib initially? And why is its availability intermittent at best? Is this just an example of great marketing, or is there something more going on behind the scenes? The McNugget is the reason McRib is in existence. If it weren't for the bell, the bow tie, the ball, and the boot, there would be no McRib. The Chicken McNuggets recipe was developed in 1979 by Irene Aaron, the first executive chef at McDonald's. Aaron used a flash freezing technique to create a product that would completely change the fast food industry. 2 years later, in 1981, McDonald's began testing McNuggets in select markets around the country, and they were a hit. But they had some problems from the start. According to Aaron in a 2009 interview, the McNuggets were so well-liked that every franchise wanted them. There was no way to ensure that there was enough chicken. McDonald's would need more than 2 years to find a solution to the chicken supply problem. However, they required a new product as soon as possible for the franchises that were unable to obtain McNuggets in the interim. This unforeseen issue backed McDonald's into a corner. It forced them to invent the McRib. Well, they didn't have to make a rib sandwich per se, but they did. So they hit up Chef Irene Aaron and asked, "Hey chef, you think you can whip up another product for us?" And he said, "Yeah, how about a fake rack of ribs made of restructured pork meat?" On the surface, this seems like a really bad idea, but Aaron's success in coming up with the McNugget and McDonald's unstable situation convinced them to give it a go. McRib made its debut in the United States in 1981. It was originally added to menus in the Kansas City area. Inspired by the pulled pork sandwiches he ate in Charleston, South Carolina, he invented the first reconstructed pig patty in the style of ribs, complete with fake bones, and served on a 5.5-inch bread roll. Even though it would have been cheaper to manufacture a round patty and serve it on standard hamburger buns, Aaron was stubborn on his vision. By February of the year 1982, McRib was available nationwide, and sales figures and customer feedback began rolling in. It's important to note that McRib at the time was one of the fastest new product introductions in McDonald's history. They released a product that, according to this 1983 article, was still in the testing stage because they were so eager to solve the McNugget problem. Customers' reaction to McRib was generally lukewarm, and sales statistics were much lower than anticipated. 1 year after its release, McRib began disappearing from McDonald's menus, and by 1985, executives agreed to remove it from the menu completely. From an outside perspective, this seems like a giant flop, but this is just the beginning of McRib history. After removing McRib from the menu, McDonald's discovered the sandwich had gained a cult-like following, after a passionate sect of customers began yearning for its return. After hearing their cries, McDonald's, although had removed McRib from the menu, decided to bring it back occasionally as a limited-time special. And since then, the McRib has come and gone and come again, with its most recent sighting in the US last 2 years in November 2022. This time around, they called its return the McRib Farewell Tour and claimed that this really could be your last chance to try it. So returning to the beginning of the video, why doesn't McDonald's set an exact release date for McRib every year? Why not treat it like the Shamrock Shake that comes out every March? Since McDonald's is aware of the demand for McRibs, so why make it difficult for them? That's when things start to become interesting. Today, we're going to look at 3 different theories attempting to explain McRib's inconsistent availability. Theory number 1, more inventory equals less profit. In the fast food business, it's best to have as little inventory as possible. Take, for example, a restaurant like In-N-Out. They have a limited menu, but what matters is that they are good as long as they have the ingredients to make burgers and fries. They don't have to bother about any particular sauces, different sorts of buns, or placing toys in meals. The less inventory/overhead you have, the higher your chance of making a profit. And the McRib itself adds 3 specialized ingredients to their overhead: the pork meat, the bread roll, and the sauce. So if McDonald's made McRib a permanent addition to the menu, demand would inevitably decline. But since the price of the specialty ingredients wouldn't change, sales would stagnate and costs would rise. However, that still doesn't explain why they can't deliver it at a consistent time every year. Theory number 2, marketing geniuses. The most widely acknowledged explanation for the reappearance and disappearance of McRibs is this one. People always want what they can't have, and McDonald's realized this right away. When McDonald's rips McRib off the menu, people instantly want it back and have to wait an indefinite amount of time for its return. McDonald's is aware that whenever they reintroduce the McRib, they'll see an immediate boost in traffic. Yet they also know that after that excitement wears off, they'll see a steep decline in sales. But still, even this doesn't explain why McDonald's refuses to offer McRib at a consistent time every year. Theory number 3, the McRib is arbitrage. I believe this theory, while just a theory, will provide us with the answer we've been searching for. On November 8, 2011, The All released an article by Willie Staley titled, "A Conspiracy of Hogs, the McRib is Arbitrage." Arbitrage is a risk-free way of making money by exploiting the difference between the price of a given good on 2 different markets. It's the proverbial free lunch you were told doesn't exist. Admittedly, what McDonald's is doing isn't risk-free, but at the same time, the risk factor is low. The central argument of the article boils down to this: McDonald's is essentially exploiting a market imbalance between what normal food producers are willing to pay for hog meat at certain times of the year, and what Americans are willing to pay for it once it's processed. The idea is that McDonald's releases McRib when pork prices are as low as possible. Between 2005 to 2010, you can see how as the graph starts dipping down, the McRib comes out and then it goes away again. McDonald's wants consumers to feel excited about McRib and jump up and down when it returns. However, that would become impossible if they pulled back the curtain and admitted publicly. Imagine hearing a PR like, "We only put this out when we can make money and we don't actually care about you." That would cause havoc on everything. So again, even if it is true, we'll never truly know. But what do you think? Why does McDonald's only sell McRib for a short period of time and at irregular intervals? Do you think it has anything to do with pork prices, or is it something else? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching and for the support.